So, hello, my name is Nicole, or Nico, or whatever you want to call me. Welcome to my channel. If you're new, and if you're coming back, thank you for coming back. Today, I'm going to do my makeup, and I'm just going to rant real quick about something that I feel really strongly about. And that is individuality, right? I think individuality is so important. You know, when I was really young, I always hated, like, school uniforms. I hated being told what to wear, what to do. I always thought like the way that I can express myself is through fashion, through what I wear, through the way that I choose to express myself. That's what makes me happy. That's what makes me feel like I have choices, you know what I mean? That's what makes me feel like I have freedom, you know? Through expression. I have freedom through expression, and that's what makes me happy because I love my style. I love the way I look. I have people that stop me in public and tell me that I look cool and all that stuff. And that, you know, maybe at first, because I didn't see a lot of people who express themselves like me, at least where I live, I was a little, not embarrassed, but I was a little shy because I know a lot of people just throw hatred at the things that they don't understand. And I kind of expected, you know, since when I was in high school, you know, and in middle school, when I would go to the mall on Friday nights and the teenagers would be like walking around, people would make fun of me. People would make fun of me for how I dressed, you know, and how I looked and all that type of stuff, how I chose to express myself. Now, I feel like with, I don't know if it was TikTok, I don't know, but now people are so much more accepting of alternative styles, and that's something that I really do appreciate. But something that, at least in the States, as a society, at least in the States, something that we have to work on is just stigma, right? Stigma. And that's something that, you know, as alternative people we have to face, you know what I mean? Which is really annoying. But I, for instance, I'm an educated person. I have a high IQ, you know, not to boast about myself or anything, but I'm capable of having a good job. I have a high IQ. I'm working on my master's. You know, I'm capable, I'm adaptable. I've had people that I worked with literally tell me that I'm a wonderful worker, that I'm really adaptable and helpful and amazing, you know what I mean? That I would succeed anywhere that I went because I'm so smart, right? But unfortunately, you know, people only get to realize that when they work with me, because in an interview, I basically have to make myself look like Hailey Bieber. Like, I have to Hailey Bieberify myself in order to get a good job, because unfortunately in society still people think that if you're alternative, either you're, I don't know what they think, if they think that you're stupid, if they think that like you're not capable of working, if they think you're just automatically like mentally ill or something. I don't know what it is, right? The only thing that I really do struggle with is maybe depression and anxiety, right? That's the only really things that I struggle with. They do affect my life, but I feel like everybody has some sort of, you know what I mean? Like, life is not easy for any one of us, you know? I don't think so. One thing that bothers me about life is just, I feel like it's this whole thing where humans just overcomplicated it for themselves, and now we all have to face the consequences. When I complain to my mom about the fact that I don't feel like I should have to change the way that I look in order to get a good job, she just tells me that I did this to myself. And this is something that I had wanted for years. I had always wanted to express myself through my clothes, through the way that I looked. I always wanted more of like a gothic like wardrobe because I just idolized, you know, people that I looked at online and a lot of music artists, you know what I mean? I grew up listening to a lot of like rock music, so naturally they have piercings, they have tattoos, they look cool, you know what I mean? And I was like, wow, I want to grow up and look like that. I wanted to grow up and look like Kat Von D. That's what I wanted, you know? But I love colorful hair. I want colorful hair. That's what makes me happy, because I grew up watching Strawberry Shortcake and My Little Pony. And just because I'm an adult and I'm supposed to be boring, like, no. I totally understand Peter Pan. I totally understand why he didn't want to grow up or anything. Like, when I was younger, I didn't get it because I was like, wow, you know, when you're an adult, supposedly you get taken seriously and all this stuff. No. I have a baby face, first of all. I do not get taken seriously. I wanted to go live on TikTok today, and the only reason why I couldn't was because I tried to verify my age with a picture of my face, and they were like, sorry, we need your ID. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, you know, one of the problems is that I do not look my age, you know. One of the most dehumanizing things that happened recently, and I'm working on my master's right now. I'm in an accelerated track to finish my master's. Instead of 2-year program, it's a 1-year program. You know, they accepted me for the accelerated track. I graduated with my bachelor's with highest honors, right? And I can't find even a job as a receptionist because either I don't look conventional enough, which is something I can fake. I can fake looking conventional, but like I don't want to spend most of my waking moments faking what I look like just to get external validation. You know what I mean? I don't want to have to do that. That makes me really uncomfortable. Why would I want to live my life like that when I just kind of want to be myself? Because I know I look cool and people tell me I look cool. I feel confident the way that I look. You know what I mean? I feel confident expressing myself through fashion. You know, I wanted to work in the fashion industry. That's what I wanted to do. Right now I'm getting it's just the job market's impossible. I don't know how I'm ever even going to progress in life. I'm not dyeing my hair black. If anything, I'll wear a wig, but I am not. But it's just sad that I have to do this. And something that angers me even more is now I don't work at Starbucks, right? I don't think I had thought about it once because I used to be a barista, but Starbucks now, they're not letting their employees have like piercings and stuff. I don't know like how true that is. I think they're just rumors. I'm not sure, but for a barista to not have their colorful hair and piercings, it's like, what are we doing in this world? Come on. Like, why do you want people to be puppets and like all look the same? That is kind of scary and dystopian and Black Mirror-esque. Could you imagine if everyone had to be painted gray and wear the same, like, it's like in, oh my god, I don't know if you guys have seen the videos of the, what's it called? The water park in like North Korea. I don't know if there's multiple or if it's just that one that I watched the video on, but they all have to wear, they have the choice of like a couple swimsuits and that's it. Like they don't really have the freedom of really picking whatever script swimsuit they want or whatever. If you look around, like everybody was wearing like the same like 3-4 swimsuits, and that's how it feels, you know. It's like you can't really, it's gross. It's like you can't really, life is temporary. Life is temporary for everyone. And you're telling me I can't even, you know, have my colorful hair if I want to. When I was little, I couldn't get colorful hair because bleach is damaging for your scalp. Okay. Now, I have colorful hair and we can't hire you because you look like, I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I have like the all of the credentials and stuff to be able to be successful in this job, but you don't want to take me seriously because your little brain can't comprehend that someone that looks like me can be intelligent and capable. That's on you. I don't think that's a me problem. I think it's just old people that need to grow up. I think it's just old people that need to grow up, shift their perspectives on things, and just, you know, because I worked at a store, a failing company, and I would have kept that job for as long as possible because they let me dress how I wanted, they let me look how I wanted, and you know what would happen? I'd get compliments. I'd get people asking me, grown adults, people of all ages, older people, younger people. Nobody treated me poorly. Everybody asked me either where my dye was from, my hair dye, where I got my hair dye from because it's beautiful, compliments to just keep being myself and always be myself and never change, compliments from people that were well off, or people that were artists or just tourists. People would tell me that I looked cool, that I looked great, and then that it wasn't a problem. So I need these business decision makers to just stop being mopey and annoying and like accept that not everyone is the same. We are people. Like, when it comes to humanity and the way that people are, it is not black and white. There's so many gray areas. Like, you know, I understand if I had like a piercing here, a piercing here, a piercing here, a piercing here, like all over my face and my hair, I don't know, something. But even then, if I had the credentials and I was able to be a professional, and you know, through the interview you can tell how someone's personality is. So if you see my hair, you see that it's purple, and you just tune out emotionally because you refuse to take me seriously because of my hair, I don't know if that's, again, I don't know if that's a me problem. I don't know if it's me that has to change so people feel comfortable, or I don't know. People like my hair. I really don't understand. I got rejected from an arcade. I'm like almost 100% sure it was because of my hair, because it was this old man with no fashion sense. So obviously if they don't get it, they're never gonna get it. But it's like a bunch of people wearing jeans and a t-shirt interviewing me, and then 2 people were like, are you, I applied to be like the coordinator. Like, it was a desk job where I just call people and like try to sell them the I try to upsell and, you know, promote the packages and stuff to schools, fundraising activities, and parents. for their birthdays and things. I'm great on the phone. I've taken multiple selling classes. I did an extracurricular school club where like we had workshops about sales. It was like a sales club. And you're telling me here that like they were asking him, hey, are you sure you don't want her as event coordinator? And he's like, no. I'm thinking team member, which was like the basic job. And that's happened to me multiple times where even when I had brown hair, when I got my bachelor's, I told myself, I like promised myself that I would never work retail again, or I would never work service again. Like I would never work at a cafe or something like that. Well, the job market's not that easy. I thought that with a bachelor's, I would be able to find something a little bit more professional, a little bit more like adult, you know what I mean? I'd be setting myself up to be able to kind of save up to be able to afford to move out and like live a real adult life because I worked super hard to get my studies and all this stuff, and I just thought that it would pay off. I was under the impression that like, okay, you go to school, you get your bachelor's, you get your degrees, and then it just pays off and you'll find a good job and you're set for life. God forbid, I just want to be happy and like individualistic and you know what I mean? Like all of my qualities of my personality, I took an aptitude test for one of the jobs that I applied to. The results came back and they basically painted me out as like a wonderful employee who works well with other people and you know is very on task and whatever. Basically the results came out amazing. I thought that I was gonna get hired or at least considered for that position. No, like shortly after they sent me a rejection email. And it's just, if an aptitude test tells me that I'm more than capable of the job, of doing the job, because I'm hardworking, because I'm adaptable, because I'm patient, because you know I have so many great qualities, why? And this wasn't even a thing that they saw me. They haven't even seen me yet. Okay, but I could check up all the boxes, but because they think that I look a little weird, they don't want to hire me. I don't get it. Okay, I really will never understand that. I love when people, like, you know what I mean? When I go to a store, when I go to a hospital, or when I go somewhere, and then the girl that's there helping me out has like an ear full of piercings or something, like that makes me happy. Like I like seeing people with piercings, with differences, with body modifications, and you know, like I know that there's like an extra form of everything, right? That like, you know what I mean? There's a way that you can make piercings and all this stuff look professional, but there's ways that like they look unprofessional. I totally understand that there's like a line drawn. But mind you, when I went to that arcade interview, dude, I flipped this up. I was wearing my glasses. I combed my hair really nice, and I had these, but they were tiny little like piercings. They were really small, jewelry that like you couldn't really tell it was there. And I'm telling you, like, that guy just did not want to hire me. Like, they said that they were going to call me back to let me know which job I ended up getting. And I expected them to actually at least call me back for the team member role, which I did not want because I'm tired of taking base level sales associate jobs when I know I can do so much better. I deserve higher pay, and I'm like 23. No, and he also asked me, I guess he couldn't take me seriously either because I look younger than my age, and he was like, just to confirm, you're over 18, right? And I'm like, I'm getting my master's in December. I'm getting my master's in December. Yes, I'm over 18. I'm fully qualified for this position. You're annoying, and I hate you. I don't like interviews. The reason why is because I'm not like a sociable person. Like that's why I spend all my time in my room. I don't go clubbing. I don't spend time with people. I don't really have friends like that. Like the only people that remember my birthday are my parents because they brought me into this world. How could they forget? But no, like I don't know. I've never been really good with like charming people, I guess. I am nice and I'm cool to be around and stuff, but especially if it's a man interviewing me, I feel like when I've been interviewed by men, they've been so skeptical. Like they don't sit there and try to like learn about you or like, you know, it's not like a true interview. It's just them being like, they always have like a look on their face, and they're always old. It's like, I know you're unhappy with your life and you feel like you have a sense of power and you don't want to give me a chance, but screw you. The other time that a man interviewed me, no, there have been 2 other times where men have interviewed me, right? Once, it was at this office. He was like in charge, right? I don't know. He was in charge of the whole office because it was for like an insurance thing, and I just wanted to be an administrative assistant. Again, I'm not asking for much. I just want to be a receptionist fresh out of college while I'm working on my master's. Like, God forbid, right? That a girl wants something better than retail. God forbid. But, I go to this interview, right? And first of all, he's like interviewing someone else in front of me. Like, it's like the same room. It's not like I'm waiting in a room or anything. He's interviewing this girl as I walk in. I thought that it was like a person that was like, she was getting a quote or something for like the insurance. I didn't think that he was doing like back-to-back interviews that day, but he was, and that gave me like a bad impression. And then when it was my turn, he like did like a bunch of pop quiz questions, and it was so annoying, and I was like, you suck. Because, like, I'm really good with Excel. If anything, like, in my previous job, I taught my managers how to use Excel because they didn't know how to use Excel. And he was just being really annoying, and I'm like, dude. I don't remember all the details of it, but I just remember when he asked if... I watched on, like, an interview, like, recommendation video that, like, when they ask you if you have any questions at the end, you have to tell them something. So the parking was really complicated, so when he asked me like if I had any questions, I said, okay, how does the parking work here? Do you give like a parking validation or what? And he's like, you don't have to worry about that. That's when I knew I didn't get the job. But I was like, dude. And at that point, I had black hair. I did not have colorful hair. I didn't have anything. And then at that point, I was like, if no one's gonna take me seriously with my black hair and all, I'm gonna just dye my hair purple. I'm gonna do what I want. I got these 2 piercings while I was still working somewhere else. And, like, I'll put the retainers in, but I'm not taking it out. Like, just because you think everyone needs to look boring because you don't have a sense of style and you feel insecure and you're just projecting on other people, get yourself together. Because the whole Starbucks thing, going back on that, apparently, like, the baristas have to wear all black. They have to pay for, like, whatever shirt they decide to wear. And, like, they have to pay for their uniform, which I think they didn't have to before. And then Starbucks has the will, like, they can change the uniform whenever they want. And then they could tell you, like, oh, this is not part of our uniform anymore, so even though you paid for it, like, you can't use it now. Because now we have a different uniform. Like, that is so twisted and crooked for me. And it's funny because it's like Starbucks doesn't understand that the reason that people were not supporting their business was not actually because... It was because of political stuff. Like, people were literally, like, boycotting Starbucks because of political reasons. It's not because your baristas were... I don't know. Like, there's literally... It's like these Starbucks people, like, the people that are in charge are kind of out of touch because there's, like, a whole stereotype that the people that make the best coffee are the ones that look alternative and have colorful hair and are like non-binary and stuff. Like, isn't that like the whole stereotype? If you don't want your freaking baristas to look like baristas, then what are you doing, dude? After I heard that basically Starbucks does not, like, that's a whole rumor right now, but if it's true, like, that, like, if I go to Starbucks and my girl with the piercings and stuff and the hickey is not serving coffee, or she had to take off her piercings, I'm gonna be so mad. Because it's like, come on now, like, it's not hurting anyone. I don't care about that. Like, I like individuality. I love going to a cafe and everybody looks different, you know what I mean? You'll have your 2 people that look conventional, but everyone else is like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, it's cool. It's like a fashion show, you know? It's like, I like seeing people that look different. I don't understand. For me, it's all about the personality, the demeanor, the way that someone approaches me, and the way that someone talks to me. If they are professional and they have class, it shows by the way that they act. They don't have to have, like, they don't have to look like Hailey Bieber. Like how hard is that to understand? I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't know why that's, like, so hard for people to understand, especially people that are much older than me. I'm like, dude, you've lived on this planet enough. Like, come on, grow up. But seriously, like, I think I'm fully capable of a good job, of doing a good job, you know, and I thought that it would be easier for me to find like a job that at least pays like $18 an hour, right? But no. And I'm almost in my mid-20s, like my for real, like 25, mid-20s. I'm 23, I just turned 23. And I've literally never felt so hopeless. Like in high school, I felt hopeless because I was scared I wasn't gonna get accepted into like a good college, and then I did. I went to college, and now I'm like, dude, what is a career? First of all, I hate interviews. I low-key have like interview trauma. Like, I'm not gonna lie, after that arcade, like, I went to another interview, but then the interview that I went to after that, I wore a brown wig, I flipped this up, and I put retainers in these, because I was not taking any chances, and guess what, I got the job. It's just a part-time, like, sales associate job, but I just wanted a job so I could have money. But, no, seriously, I'm just like, dude, I'm gonna get my master's in December, and I have no backup plan, because I don't know what to do. Like, now I'm considering, like, for real, it's getting realer by the minute, the whole going to cosmetology school thing. I was considering it a little bit, but then I was just like, whatever. Like, I don't think I'll make a lot of money from that, because there's enough people that are doing cosmetology, and how am I gonna stand out, and all this type of stuff, right? Because competition is large. And like me, there's probably a lot of people who want to resort to cosmetology because, you know, they want to be able to be themselves in the workplace. But the one thing that it just drives me crazy that people, you know, especially people that are like older than me, can't fathom, like, how stupid it is to just, like, you know, really, like, it's like hate, unnecessary hate against alternative and goth people. Like, it's so unnecessary. When I was in my business classes, most of the time I was like the only person that dressed or looked this way. Okay. And then the other person that I met that was like, you know, equally like spooky, dude was getting his bachelor's so he could like work in the music industry, right? And I'm just like, maybe beauty is my calling. Like, I love doing makeup and all that stuff. I would love to get paid to do makeup on other people. I wish it paid good. I don't know how good it pays, but I'm really considering it now because it's like, I know first of all, I would be miserable in one of those boring jobs. I know myself already. I would be miserable. I already know how corporate, like, office politics work. I've already heard my fair share of horror stories. So, first of all, spending more of my waking hours there than at home sounds like miserable. Why would I have to throw away who I am just to be accepted to something that I don't even really want? You know? I don't know. It's a scary world we live in. It's a confusing world we live in. I'm so confused and I don't know what to do with myself. And I'm just ranting and doing my makeup because this is my therapy. Like, I love doing this. This makes me really happy. And, it's fun. It's fun for me. But yeah, this is just what's been on my mind because to me it just feels like it's so unfair and so unnecessary, and like, again, considering the fact that life is so short, why would you expect everyone to just want to be boring as heck for like most of their waking hours, just spend time being boring as heck? Like, I don't know, I feel, because nobody wants to work. People just work because they need money to support themselves and to live, you know, in a house and be able to pay their electricity bills and all this stuff. Like, nobody really wants to be working. It's like, who wants to work? Who dreams about working, really? Like, no. Not me, not I. But I need a job. You know, in the future I need a job to be independent, to move out, to afford, you know, living, and all that type of stuff. But yeah. So today what I'm doing right now is literally getting ready to bed rot because I have onboarding tomorrow for this retail job. It's funny because I literally promised myself I wouldn't do retail again, but I keep falling into the same trap because the job market is a joke. But some people can't even get jobs at a retail having my credentials. So I guess I should celebrate it, but you know, just having high standards for yourself and being annoyed because the world just doesn't work the way that you thought it did it's a real feeling. It's so real. But no, I don't like dealing with humanity. I don't like talking to people. I don't like, you know what I mean? I just want to sleep and watch movies all the time. I just want to lay around and watch Jerry Springer and live my best life. Or have a regular job, but be able to be myself. That's what I want. For a world that's more like genuinely open-minded. Because how stupid and slow do you have to be, really, to expect that, like, the only way that someone can be, you know, like, capable is if they look a certain way. Sometimes the opposite is true. Sometimes people that look a certain way, that look, like, normal and stuff, like, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're more capable than me, for instance. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the best manager that I've ever had pink hair and a bunch of piercings. I think one of her piercings was the Medusa. She had a septum. She had a bunch of like Legend of Zelda tattoos. Her whole body was tatted basically, and she had bright pink hair. She was so cool, and she looked cool, and she acted cool, and she was super professional. So for me, that was someone that I pretty much looked up to, and she was the best manager. I'm telling you, the best manager I have ever had in my life. Okay, so it's just, I know firsthand that that is BS. So I don't know. I don't know. But the thing is, to be able to be a manager somewhere else, I have to work my way up somewhere and become a manager. And it's just like, the places that I worked at, all the retail places that I worked at, first of all of them I quit for a reasonable reason. Like, it wasn't just me like overreacting, and that's the thing that interviewers don't understand. I'll sit down and they're like, why did you leave? And I'm like, I have to say something vague and stupid, right? Because it's like, I can't be honest, because if I'm honest, suddenly, you know, they're not gonna want me as a job candidate. But honestly, the places I've left is because either the people that I worked at just made me miserable and I had to go. I gave it a shot. I really tried. I gave it a bunch of chances, but once it started sincerely affecting my mental health, I had to leave. And this is something that happened 2 years ago and still affects me. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, something that happened 2 years ago at one of my previous jobs still affects me because it was living hell working there. It was sometimes it's literal living hell working somewhere. Sometimes you really just don't fit in somewhere. Sometimes, you know, literally the people that are employed just suck, you know, because the place that I worked at, it was just like I was picking up after everyone. They would all be standing in the back in the kitchen talking, and I would take people's orders, make the drinks, bring them out, and everything. I would be the one single-handedly like making the place thrive, basically, and move, because if not, nobody was gonna do anything. And, you know, they made fun of me, they treated me poorly. I was like Cinderella before the bippity boppity boo. I had to leave. Like, that was affecting me. So how do I sit down and tell an interviewer that? Like, what do I tell them? Like, oh, it just wasn't, it didn't align. It was like personal reasons, and it didn't align with me, so I had to leave. Like, what do I say? What's something vague enough and fake enough that will, you know, not scare an interviewer away? I I don't know. I don't know how to change my words like that. Like, I'm very blunt. And that's something, it's because it's something that I like. That's a bluntness and honesty. Those are qualities that I love to see coming from other people. So since I like seeing people that are honest and blunt, I am honest and blunt. But I guess in the United States, it's not okay to be honest. You have to like put a smile with everything, you know what I mean? You just have to be miserable, but keep it to yourself. Like, if you spend all of your waking hours at work, most of your waking hours at work, if you work a full-time job and you're there for 40 hours, we're all human, bro. Like, no one's perfect. I know it's, like, bad, like, people don't like to employ people that complain or something, I don't know. But, like, have you never complained about anything? And if you're really miserable somewhere and you really know you deserve better, but life is cruel and you try to find something better and it's hard, so you have to settle every time. Like, how are you not gonna complain about that? Obviously, I'm like, woe is me sometimes. I don't know why the United States just expects you to be a robot. Is there somewhere else that I can move to where I'm not expected to be a robot? That speaks English, because I speak English and Spanish. Where can I go? Like, so I could just be a normal human being and, like, social niceties. First of all, niceties, I didn't know that was a word until recently. I was, like, looking into, like, job market stuff, and then I commented saying, like, bro, this is stupid, like, I should be able to just be honest, and someone responded to me saying, well, that's a social nicety. I'm like, nicety? What the heck is that? I didn't know that was it sounds like a stupid word. It just sounds like a stupid word, I'm sorry. Nicety. It's a social nicety. Whatever, bro. I don't know. I'm just sitting around here doing my makeup because it's the only thing that I feel like I'm good at. And, it brings me therapy, it brings me peace. And I'm looking like a real baddie right now, so. This to me is just like a neutral kind of look. It's like I'll put like dark brown on my lid and then just do like an eyeliner and then like a little bit of black underneath and just literally call it a day. But yeah, I was never boring, okay? Like, when I was little, I loved like Fancy Nancy. I loved all those extra like cartoon characters and stuff, right? Characters that were extra I always felt, or that expressed themselves through fashion and through, you know what I mean, like Sharpay Evans and all that. Like, they all expressed themselves and loved fashion and loved, you know, all that type of stuff, and they weren't scared to be themselves. And Elle Woods, dude, they didn't take her seriously because they thought that she was a blonde bimbo. She got into Harvard, she got that law degree, and look at her. Like, that's what I feel like. Except for me, instead of pink and blonde, everything's black. Again, it's like, life is so short. Like, why? I'm so upset. I was really hoping that life would just get easier and all this stuff, but it's so much harder than I thought it was. Like, I'm trying to push out here. I'm trying to push myself and, like, continue and, like, just keep doing what I'm doing and, like, try not to let things get... No. You know... Things will get to me. Because after what happened at that arcade, like, that really angered me. I don't know if you could tell. But come on, it's an arcade. Like, and I started talking about video games. I was talking about how I genuinely like going there. I'm a VIP. You know, like, I told them that I literally go there often and I know their deals and stuff and how good they are because like, you know what I mean? I don't know. And they're still hiring, that's the gag. They're still hiring. I won't stop being petty about that though. Like, how dare you reject me being an arcade because I have purple hair? Because there's no other reason, come on. Especially since the two people that were there with the man were asking him if he was sure that he didn't want to offer me the job as the event coordinator. And then the girl that was there started like running down the she told me like basically the job duties and everything, and I was like, yeah, I'm fully capable of that. I have transferable experience. And she seemed to like me, but that stupid booty hole people, I swear. I just want to be professional, be taken seriously, but I don't want to have to change who I am because I'm happy with who I am. And it's taken so much for me to be happy with who I am. I'm super cool. I'm super fierce. I can't work with like alternative brands because I'm not an influencer. Or like not a big influencer. I'm trying out here, but it's, you know, I'm gonna do another video about like the times that I was almost scammed, or I was scammed basically, but I got my money back thankfully because my credit card company is helpful and amazing. But I'm not gonna put on lashes. I would put on eyelashes, but since I'm just gonna bed rot today, I'm not. What was I gonna say? Yeah, I got scammed from one of those like fake alternative brands. There's like alternative brand, you know what, I'm just gonna say it now. There's alternative brands out there that are drop shippers, right? And then they'll say that they're looking for goth models or whatever just to get you to sign up, and it'll be like an AI like that'll text you, and they'll offer you like free items, but you'll have to pay for shipping. But the shipping will be like a crazy amount, and then they never like actually promote you or your account or anything. That happened to me, and I was so upset because I was like, come on, I just want to grow, I want engagement, I want to be recognized for being fierce because it's hard to find a regular job, so like might as well take up content creation, right? Because people have told me like, why don't you do that? I'm like, because I'm shy and I hate myself. But here I'm trying, and it's really hard. It's a lot harder than I thought it was, especially since I'm not like, you know, I don't know, I'm not really extroverted like that. I don't know what to do with myself. Thank you for watching, and have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful day. I'm sorry that I've been negative today, but I'm just feeling like, what am I supposed to do with my life? But it is what it is.